just like to say we're glad to have you with us, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Joan. Seems like I was only up here last month, but I was so impressed by what you girls came up with last time that I'm back to see if you can work your magic again.
It won't alter the result.
Yes, I know it's random, we could get a classic or a not-so-classic, but even so, I'd like you to give it a try today.
Good luck.
Thank you, that's it. Yes, 230 episodes down now, still a long way to go yet.
Might as well be at the other end of the universe.
Yes, quite.
When will the first pictures be through, sir?
Oh, anytime now, as soon as we get the printout. Yes, that's it. And let's see. Okay. Well, today's episode is one I'm sure I've seen, but I don't remember all that well. It's the Quick Brown
Fox?
Yes, thank you, Lieutenant.
Is there anything else?
Maybe do with some coffee. Oh, cream and sugar, please.
Yes, sir.
Lovely. Well then, here's the Protectors. So, with some very funky music, we welcome the Protectors back to the Randomiser, but this time it's Season 1. I don't think we've been here since... whenever the last time was. Actually, I think maybe the last time we were in Season 1 was for an episode that I often mistake for this one. I get this one and the Numbers Game mixed up. I don't know why, because they're two totally different stories, but I just... in my brain, they seem to occupy the same space. I think it's because the titles are just... well, no, even the titles are both totally different. It's,
What do you need? I have an appointment with Senor Keller.
I don't know what my problem is. But, the Contessa? Is it the villa of Senor Keller, played by Maurice Perry?
5, 4, 3,
Why is she counting down?
1, go.
Oh, they're dropping Harry off once they've got past the guard at the gate. There's a long drive up to the villa, so they've let Harry go en route so that he can make his way in on foot, possibly to do some detective work of some kind. Of course, this being the first season, the Contessa still has her chauffeur, Chino the chauffeur, and also Paul is around with his motorbike. What's he doing here? He's getting a tape recorder ready. Of some kind of something or other's going on here. I don't know what, because, as I said, I very vaguely remember this episode, and when I do remember this episode, I get it confused with another episode, so... But I like the fact that Maurice Perry is going to be in this episode, because I do like him in other things. He's a regular face from some lovely guard dogs, lovely German Shepherd guard dogs. Yeah, a familiar face from other ITC shows and Doctor Who and such.
An honor, Contessa.
So I think this is Barcelona where they're filming this. Again, that's a vague memory. I probably should have checked. Oh well, I've said it now. Barcelona it is. Oh no, Harry's been spotted by Dougie. Or has he? I don't know. Yes, it seems like the dogs are on his scent. But luckily, Chino has watched the dogs go and he is going to... signal to Paul, who presses play on the tape recorder, and it produces that lovely noise to distract the dogs. This is from the Protectors Dog Distraction Department.
Do. It's so lovely round here. There's a beautiful situation for a villa, up there on the cliff.
Out of the question, I'm afraid, Contessa.
Yes, Maurice Perry has got a lot of scantily clad ladies sat around the pool. He's clearly very wealthy. But how did he get all this money? I think that's what we're trying to find out. Oh, yes, the sound has now reached a high enough frequency for the dogs to hear. Oh, they managed to create two dogs out of one shot there. They just showed one dog reacting, and then they flopped the footage to show the same dog reacting, but pretending to be a different dog. There we
You
go.
won't change your mind.
I guess Barcelona doesn't have many professional dog actors to hire.
As you may be aware, Contessa, I am a man with a past. For me, that past is dead and buried. I regret what I did, what I was.
I detect a bit of a German accent here.
That is true.
I still have interlopers, journalists, sensation seekers. That's the guards, that's the dogs.
Oh, thus this excessive quantity of champagne.
No villas overlooking my estate.
So, he's wealthy, he's got secrets, he's got a German accent. And this is an ITC show of the early 70s, and there was one thing ITC shows were quite fond of. Usually 1 or 2 episodes per series, would deal with, with the fallout of something that happened in the 1940s. You know, you name it, name an ITC show, chances are they did an episode revolving around what we're about to find here. Possibly once Harry has unlocked this door. I may have started talking about this a bit too soon. But luckily Harry has a skeleton key to unlock that door. And the dogs have found the tape recorder. Turn that off. Oh, these so cute doggies. Yes. Harry is now broken in, and inside the room, well, photos of a certain person, whose dulcet tones you may be hearing there. There's various pictures, bits of bric-a-brac, all left over from the Second World War. And there's a photo of Maurice Perry standing behind a certain mustachioed gentleman. So we're back from the opening titles. That seemed to be a very long teaser, actually, probably one of the longest of the series. And I've got to say that photo, I should say, rather, of Maurice Perry in his Nazi regalia standing behind Mr. Hitler. It's actually very well done.
Even though he served a 10-year sentence, he's lost none of his Nazi allegiance.
Considering very often in these things where they try to sort of photo collage things together, it never looks convincing. That actually looks like a genuine, convincing photo, so well done to the show for that.
That's right, and they're all living in luxury with annual payments that amount
Paul is seems to be practicing his shooting on a cardboard ball, by the way.
The German government figures that if we can cut off this source of funds, these guys are going to have to come out into the open.
Right, where they can be dealt with by the ordinary processes of the law.
Exactly. So surveillance on Keller looks like a good starting point.
Hence me and my cravat. And Paul is looking very sporty this week.
The Contessa's on top of it.
This was also during that period where you could, I say a lot of ITC shows did, oh no, some Nazis have survived kind of thing. Of course, this was back in the day when you could do an episode like that and say, oh, Nazis are bad, whereas nowadays, unfortunately, there are people who would say, oh no, actually, which is just awful. Anyway, this funky music is someone has pulled up in a Jeep outside a postbox and posted something into the postbox. Chino is watching because in the postbox they have a self-sealed envelope ready to catch the post. He is now retrieving that envelope from the postbox. Good job that nobody else came and posted anything else of importance before he had to do that. But he's dropped the empty bag into the postbox. He is now heading back to the limo with a pair of letters. What's going on here?
Payments. Electricity company, water company.
Oh, bills, bills, bills.
Ah, this is more interesting. H. Gratz, Post Restaurant, Geneva, Switzerland.
Switzerland, oh. So we're not...
Wouldn't want Herr Keller to have his electricity cut off.
No. We're not just in Barcelona. This is nice. Well, I say that. We are still in Barcelona. Maybe we'll go somewhere else later on.
Zero temperature has a well-tested effect on most forms of adhesion.
This is why they're the best. The protectors know how to open envelopes without ripping them open.
No names, no signature, just the date, and the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Oh.
A sentence engraved on every stenographer's heart.
Oh, yes, that's a sentence that contains every letter in the English language. I remember that much. It's a
14th, and we're still in the middle of July.
typing exercise.
Gratz of Geneva with the wrong date and a secretary's exercise for a message.
And what do you make of it?
Well, every typewriter types differently. They're as individual as a person's signature. As a matter of fact, they're better than a signature. You don't have to reveal your name. Now, suppose H. Gratz in Geneva already has a copy of this sentence written by this typewriter. Got every letter in the alphabet to go on.
So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog is simply to prove that this letter is genuine.
Right.
Well, where's the message?
So,
Got to be in the date.
well, the title then has very little bearing on this episode. as I suspected it might. Anywho, we seem to have a plan, track down the typewriter, and the only way to do this is to
recreate that sentence with a different date.
go and talk to a professional typewriterologist.
On this machine, I have to take the machine to adjust every spacing, every letter to match the original. Observe that the letter R is slightly worn and that the K types just a little high.
This is interesting that they're not going straight down the action path. They're being a bit more meticulous in their research with this.
Mañana, and you can name your own price.
Mañana, senor.
I can't remember what that means. Oh, but here's a pretty blonde lady in very 70s looking clothes. I seem to think she was hanging around Morris Perry's swimming pool. I could be wrong, but she got a close-up at the pool, and I think it might be the same lady.
Hola.
Juan, I must speak to Senor Keller. It's very urgent.
That was Alf Joint picking up the telephone at Morris Perry's pad. Alf Joint, a regular stuntman on a lot of these shows. We may have mentioned him before. He was Steiner in Breakaway and various other episodes. He's always very familiar, and of course that wasn't his voice saying hola. Yeah, the blonde lady.
I think we got a tail.
Is onto them.
Right, out. Keep straight ahead.
Again, I really want to see this show in HD because some of this location filming is just beautiful, especially for a group that didn't really have much experience on doing too much of this. I mean, you look at the location filming in previous Anderson shows, it is, with the exception of the stuff in Portugal for Doppelganger, mostly it is just around Burnham Beaches and Black Park. It's all very UK focused, and then you get all this in the Protectors. It just looks lovely. Right, so the Protectors were being followed by a hairy man in a van with a moustache and sunglasses, of course. Harry has managed to sort of double back and is now, well, attempting to force the van to stop. Has succeeded in forcing the van to stop, and chunky, hairy, mustachioed sunglass man, with a surprising turn of speed on this fellow, has legged it. Here comes that Jeep we saw earlier, putting things in the postbox, and while Harry pursues, or Harry's stunt double rather, pursues the runaway truck driver across some sandy dunes, the guys in the Jeep are out, and one of them has a rifle. Oh, and our chunky mustachioed guy is, yes, he's on the top of a very sandy cliff. He's in the sights of the guy from the Jeep. That's him and Harry ducking for cover there. But dumpy mustachio guy made the mistake of running. He's trying to run across the side of the cliff now. That was never going to work. And here's a very impressive stunt. Rolling, 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 rolling down that hill.
Vámonos.
Our work here is done. Vámonos! But of course, Harry's not dead. Because we can't kill Harry because, I don't know, maybe there's a scheme within a scheme here. I don't remember this one all that well. But regardless, we are minus one fat hairy guy.
And you typed this sentence over and over again?
Si, senor.
But with no idea why Senor Osuna wanted all those copies?
Senor Osuna was very reluctant to talk about the job, senor.
Ah. So blonde lady...
You did well.
...was then asked by typewriter guy to type the Quick Brown Fox on all of his typewriters. And she has told Morris Perry.
The Contessa we don't know. The Contessa, therefore, is our only lead.
Ah. So, it's all a bit suspicious.
No difficulty at all, Contessa.
And here's someone else. Who's this?
Dead. Herr Keller's associates in Geneva will remain unaware of your interception.
I'm most grateful, senor.
Not at all, Contessa. The authorities here are as anxious as you are that Herr Keller and his friends should be put finally where they belong.
Some kind of policeman, I believe. Well, enough of that. We're off to the aeropuerto. I think we might be off to Geneva.
Esta es la última llamada por el vuelo 721.
Or at least Robert Vaughn might be. He's definitely at the airport for real. Whether he'll get to go to Geneva for real, or if it'll just be a back-projected Geneva, who knows. But, you know, you can't ask them to film in 2 different countries in the space of 1 episode. Barcelona's just looking very nice as Harry's flight takes off. Some more funky music. I love this stuff. It's one of the more underrated Anderson scores, I find. Oh, that's a very low-res shot of Geneva Airport there. That almost looked like it was taken from some kind of video. Okay. Oh, here we go.
Mademoiselle, I am afraid these numbers correspond to no account in this bank.
Possible.
It's Christopher Benjamin.
Must be a mistake.
Not on our part, Mademoiselle Gratz.
Monsieur, please. You must check again.
We already have, several times. The serial
of Doctor Who and Danger Man and so forth. The Prisoner. Some more low-res footage there.
Nice view, huh?
Ah, okay, so Robert Vaughan's not getting to go to Geneva. He's getting a ride on a back projection cable car up the mountains.
Or is it the thought of Keller and his friends that's worrying you?
So now this other lady has entered our story.
They're going to think that you made off with this year's payroll.
Some kind of... I'm losing the plot here.
Who are you?
My grip on it was tenuous at best. More quite low-res footage there.
Thought the mountains were supposed to be soothing. But I guess for a girl with your troubles, that's too much to ask.
You must tell Keller. The numbers are wrong.
He's not likely to believe that.
But I couldn't get the money. It's still in the bank. Please tell Keller.
Okay, so this lady is somehow tied up in everything. Maybe this is why I confuse this one with a numbers game, because they start talking about numbers that aren't right.
Working for the West German government.
What do you want from me?
Just to know who you are would be a start.
Give me the number you gave the bank this morning. The number from the dates on the letters.
Oh, okay, right.
I told you, it's the wrong number.
So she's the pickup to get the money out of the Swiss bank.
Which part? Why should I give you the letters?
Because the only hope for you is that I get to Keller and his friends before they get to you.
Ooh. Yes, you don't want those Nazis coming after you. They're mean. Oh, Paul gets to go to Geneva as well.
There we are, gentlemen. The complete contents of your account.
Oh, my name's not Henry Gordon Jago.
Be necessary, gentlemen.
Oh, lovely Christopher Benjamin.
Assume an absolute right to the contents of the account. One single error in...
And lovely old Swiss banks. Always very useful, particularly in ITC shows.
It's a system we approve of.
Ah, that's the Contessa's villa. Oh, is it? Yes, I think so, because this is where she and Harry were sitting earlier. It's definitely the same. Yeah. This is her house because she's having dinner there.
Chino.
She wouldn't break into someone else's house to have dinner. Chino has prepared a lovely meal of something. Oh, but of course he has to be dealt with first. That's it. 1 thug down. 2 thug down. 3, 4. One of those was out of joint. Oh, even a chair doesn't stop Chino, but this will. Morris Perry has got the Contessa.
Stay back from him.
Chino!
Contessa!
Anthony Chin handles himself really well in a fight. Whoa. Even Alf Joint, who's been in, like, you know, as I said, thousands of screen fights, he looked almost sort of, oh my goodness, calm down. This maniac of Anthony Chin. I mean, it incredibly takes all 4 of these stuntmen to control him. That's quite impressive. So, the baddies have taken over the Contessa's home. Harry has arrived, presumably to fill her in on what's going on, or perhaps to just give her some of the money. But somehow he gets the impression that it's all a bit suspicious. No idea where Paul is during all this. But Harry has let himself in, and of course he is about to find...
Mr. Rule, isn't it? I was expecting you.
No, okay, this isn't the Contessa's house at all.
Why did you come here, Mr. Rule?
This is Maurice Perry's chateau thingy.
You've been here before, Mr. Rule.
I can tell because Maurice Perry is sat behind his desk with a great big Nazi insignia flag behind it.
My impression is that the whole world's been here before.
Several times.
SS Panzer Division. It's a war record to be proud of.
I think you might have overestimated the strength of your position, Mr. Rule. You've got nothing on me.
And I've got Chino.
I've served my sentence. 10 years.
You're distributing funds to wanted Nazis all over the world. It's got to be worth another 10.
You have proof?
Each man knew only his part of the bank's serial number. Once a year, they send them to you.
Aha, okay.
System was devised with care, Mr. Rule.
So the plan does make sense if you actually go back and just watch the episode.
For my own purposes.
I don't do it any favours by waffling over it, I'm afraid.
I live very well.
Because the episodes are so brief, essentially. They cram a lot of plot in, and some of the details just get mentioned once and then never again.
For proof.
What kind of proof has Harry brought?
A quick brown fox with postmarks from South America, Africa, France. Each one with a part of the bank serial number contained in the date.
Lots of Nazi friends all over the world, all wanting some money.
No interest to me. I, on the other hand, have something to interest you. Something to exchange for the $1 million you appear to have misappropriated.
Ooh.
Bring her in.
Ah, of course, the Contessa and Chino, whose hands are now
We do meet in the most unsavory places, don't we?
tied.
Yeah. The man seems to think you're worth $1 million to me.
I don't think that's going to slow him down somehow once the inevitable fight. Oh, there it comes. Quicker than I thought. Yep. Oh, yes. It's all the protectors, the three of them, very easily overpowered. All of Maurice Perry's chums here, but he himself... Oh, nearly escaped, but Chino's got him in a bear hug. One of his thugs is about to pick up a gun to try to shoot Chino. I think we know where this is going.
Chino!
He hit Maurice Perry instead. So, the world is now minus one former Nazi. All's well that ends well, I suppose. Yeah, they're showing that photo of him and Hitler again. That's actually really, really well done. It's the first, hopefully the only time you'll ever hear me compliment a picture of Hitler. Anywho. Now this is quite an infamous ending scene. Harry and the Contessa are in the swimming pool. Harry is swimming, the Contessa is on a lilo, trying to just enjoy the sun.
Oh, go away. Harry, look, if you tipped me, I'll
And of course they've got a floating champagne table with champagne and glasses on.
You think so?
Harry! So this is our end of episode silly moment. Will he knock her off the lilo? Yes, he does. And while she flails around in the water, Robert Vaughn helps himself to a sip of champagne, slides back in the water, and then... Well, he makes a very rude gesture. He gives her the finger. And I've noticed, actually, that that shot, when this episode is repeated on ITV4, they trim the ending just before he does that. I don't know why is that there? Very strange. Anywho, that was the Protectors episode, The Numbers Game. No, it wasn't. See, I said I get this one confused with The Numbers Game. It's not The Numbers Game, it's The Quick Brown Fox. Oh, I think probably that is just proof positive that I really have no thoughts or opinions on this one at all. Sorry.